Welcome, Yannick Myson. Thank you so much for joining us on Decoded by DVerse. Why don't you just start by telling us a little bit about yourself, your role with Delysium and Lucy, and then we can start from there.
Yeah, sure. My name is Yannick Myson, and I'm from Holland originally. I was born in Germany, but both my parents, they're from Holland. And then when I was 10 years old, I moved back to Holland, and we moved to a little village. I asked my parents, can we please go to the city? And they said that, well, if we bring you to a city, you'll probably, become a gangster. But then, somewhere along
Not
the
a
way.
gangster, but looks like
but
one.
looks like one, yeah. I was like, since I was 12, I was like, Mom, can I get those like sticker tattoos? And then she would always allow me. And then I would be like,
It's
okay.
the gateway tattoo.
Yeah, it's the gateway tattoo. I'd be like, this is going to be the one. When I get 18, this is going to be the one. And then when I was 18, of course, I got tattoos, right?
But not that one?
But not that one. No, no, not that one. And I've been in Southeast Asia for a very long time, since I was 18, actually. And I've been starting different businesses, mainly in Vietnam. I started a recording studio, and then that recording studio kind of transformed into a production house, and then started organizing events, and then from events started managing artists, and from managing artists I obviously had to start a label, and then
a label?
Yes, and then I had to also open some nightclubs, and then I also
All in
had
Vietnam?
to yes, and then I had to also organize festivals, and then that kind of spread out through Southeast Asia, and then I got into NFTs and artists, and that's where my blockchain career restarted. Actually, back in high school, back in college. Sorry, the first year of college. Yes, 9 years ago. I had a very shady friend.
Shady friend.
Yeah, he would come to us, and we had a friend group. Really cool guys. They all right now are doing pretty interesting stuff. But we were kind of like the naughty kids. Going to parties
The
too
bad
much.
boys?
The bad boys. Yeah, it's kind of like the bad boys.
The
I guess
bad boys.
It
with the
shows,
tattoos, you
yes.
have to be.
Yes, and that guy was kind of like an outlier. He was actually still in crypto, so maybe he's gonna come after me after I tell this story. But he was kind of a weird guy, and he would come to us with CIA mind control methods, and like a printout, and he would give it to us. He was like, you gotta study this kind of stuff, and this is how you can control your universe and the environment and stuff. But his dad, he owned a hardware store, computer hardware, GPUs and CPUs and stuff. So I'm not sure where he got it from, but at one point he came to us with this new thing, and this time the new thing was Bitcoin, right?
I wish I had that shady friend. Do you want to buy this? I'd be like, okay, fine.
Yeah, so that's how I got introduced to it. And then there were a lot of other shady things going on. When I look back on them, it was shady, but it's actually pretty innocent. It was not anything illegal. Everything is legal in Holland, by the way.
Yeah.
Right? But we set up a mining rig back then, and we were borrowing hardware from his father. And, that went on for a while. But I guess I couldn't comprehend what actually Bitcoin was back then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I didn't know.
What year did you say it was?
It was 9 years ago.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm still quite young, but
you look it. Don't worry. I was just trying to do the math myself. Yeah, 2015.
Yeah. So I didn't
13,
really
14.
catch the point, right? So I was like, okay, well, probably this is something related to money and technology, but back then, it was really nothing, right? It was really nothing. So I got too busy with other stuff, with life, life as a teenager.
So did you leave the mining?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
You should have just left it going.
Yeah, I should have just left it going, but I think that they continued, and I mean, it was such a shady guy. It was just not comfortable for me to hang out with him.
He's probably living very comfortably right now.
Yes, I think so. Yeah. And then I just left that. I did start another business back then. I was 16. Yeah, 16. Was an online business, giving health advice and fitness advice to people I could find on the internet. I still have a book on Amazon. It's called How to Make Weight Loss More Enjoyable. And,
interesting. So a man of many talents.
I'm not many talents, but many curiosities. Yes,
okay.
Always chasing curiosity.
That's a good way to put it.
Yes.
We were just talking about how many languages you speak, and I've already forgotten. So tell me why you know so many. Is this maybe back to the CIA thing now?
Uh,
I think I know where he really works.
yeah, no. Unfortunately, that book, like that CIA mind control thing, never really took off with me. It never had any effect. I did read it, and it had a very interesting, like kind of like theories in there. There was one of the theories. I'm going off topic. I'll answer the question. There was one of the theories where there was like people sitting in a room, and then they would have other people call in to that room, and then before the phone call would be placed, that person had to like write down who's gonna call, and then they kind of like statistically proven that people could like feel who was gonna call. It's like stuff like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think it's pretty
For me,
interesting.
I wouldn't have a long list. It'd probably be like my parents or like.
Right. Yeah.
I wouldn't even know who else.
Yeah, that's gonna be my brother, my grandma. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think my mom was she's very good at talking in like different languages. She speaks so many languages, like Latin and French and Spanish and German, and I don't even know. Like sometimes we go out and I'm surprised because she starts talking in a local language.
Is she like a translator or something?
No, it's her. Like I think back in the day she was studying Latin and then French, and then she was doing like language studies.
Nice.
So I think she passed that on down to me. So I speak Dutch, German because I was born in German, but I didn't go to a German school. Like after the Second World War, you still had like Dutch and like American bases and stuff. So we were basically living like in the middle of the forest, like near one of those bases, and my dad was working there.
How old were you when you left?
10 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
and then I moved to Holland, and that's when I learned to speak Dutch. No, I'm kidding. Like I was going to.
I was like, well, that's fine.
I was going to a Dutch school in Germany, but because we were living in Germany, right? Like I was hearing it all around me, so I naturally picked that up. So that one doesn't count actually. That one was like just a given. And Dutch, and then English, of course, because I was playing a lot of video games. So before I went to like middle school, I could already speak English. And then I had to study French in school, in high school, which was terrible. Sorry, but I hate French. It's a beautiful language to listen
Oh
to
mon
it.
Dieu.
Yeah, but je parlais français un petit peu, but it's so.
At least you have the accent.
Yeah, it's so. And then when I was 18, I moved to Vietnam, and then I was learning Vietnamese there, and I picked that up pretty quickly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old were you when you moved there?
18. Yeah, I just
That's
turned
quite
18.
late, to learn languages. That's quite impressive.
Is it? Is it late?
Well, like typically there's I don't know what the statistics are, but they say like up to a certain age, it gets really difficult to start learning a new language. It might actually be like 30 or 40, but like in general, 18 is quite an impressive age.
Yeah, I heard that, but I think like I heard a lot of people say stuff like that, right? And then I think like, okay, so basically you're just saying like, well, my brain is not as like how do you say my brain is placid, right?
Yeah.
Like my brain's plasticity is like decreasing. It's becoming more solid. But actually science tells us that that's not true at all. Like if you keep your mind young, like if, for example, if you start your day and you read a book, or you read not a whole book, but like you start reading a book, for example, in the morning, and you eat certain foods. Like Jim Quick, he's really like, do you know Jim Quick?
No.
Like he does like this brain training programs and so on, and he's using some like peer-reviewed studies to base his ideas off and his theories off. But you can keep your brain pretty young, and I believe that curiosity. I want to come back to curiosity later. It's one of the things that like.
It is impressive. I love languages, so like if I could learn a new language, I tried to. I had those Duolingo apps, but when I lived in Germany, I was really trying to learn it, and I felt like I really got the hang of it, but once I left, I never really needed it anymore.
Yeah.
And at that point, it kind of like, I'll understand it, and I'll feel good when I understand the language, but it's not as well as before, obviously. Yeah. But I was only also there for 3 years. But I mean, with like learning like a language like Vietnamese, it's a bit like, it's a difficult language, especially if it's you're not from that region at all.
Yes. Like they have so many different like tones. Like I think it's like 9 tones.
Can you say something in Vietnamese?
What do you want me to say?
Anything, and then just tell me what you said after.
Okay.
Maybe like maybe just say welcome to DCODED by DVerse.
Okay.
But that's basically 2 words are staying the same.
I haven't spent a lot of time in Vietnam recently, so I need to kickstart my brain. Xin chào các bạn. Mong
quite July về decoded by Dina.
That was impressive. I wouldn't know. You could have said anything.
Yeah, no,
but yeah, no.
Like I learned it because I submerged myself in like, you know, the culture and the people.
Which is good.
Yeah, which is good.
Curiosity.
And, yeah, curiosity again, yes. And also like putting myself in a tough position because I was like, okay, if I want to do something here, because I really love Asia. Like Asia I'm a fanboy of Asia. And I think that's because like my grandparents, they're from Indonesia. So I always felt a little bit of like attraction.
Your grandparents are from Indonesia?
Yeah, they are. Okay. Yeah, from Malang.
That's from which side?
From my dad's side. Yeah, if you see a picture of my grandma, she's like really small, like really cute, like Asian looking woman. Yeah.
But you came out looking like very European. You've got the blue eyes, the light hair, well, like dark hair, but still like the blue eyes, like white skin.
Yeah, it got washed right out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then, now I'm learning Cantonese.
How's that going?
我識講廣東話少少，我要識一籠燒賣. I just said I speak Cantonese a little bit and I want to eat one dim sum.
Wait, was it? Shishi.
Shishia is Chinese.
Shishia. Yeah.
Yeah, that's thank you in
Cantonese
Chinese.
Cantonese is different.
Yeah, Cantonese and So Cantonese is like
Mandarin.
Yeah, Mandarin and Cantonese are two different languages. After Cantonese, I will learn Mandarin. I think that's also.
How many languages do you want to speak by the end of the year?
Oh, I don't know. I hope that I will be able to fluently speak Cantonese. Like writing, I will just give up on writing it because like those characters, when I look at it, it's just like an ancient like alien language.
Yeah,
almost,
but they're very cool characters.
Yeah, they look really cool, and there's a lot of people who have like characters like tattoos, and then actually they realize later on that their tattoo says something completely different from what they thought. It's like I love Chinese government, but they thought it was like New Hope or something.
Yeah, those. I love those memes though. Like it says like ketchup or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Which thought it said like courage.
Yeah. I don't have any right now. I don't.
No, but you'll know.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Delysium and Lucy. What you guys have been building, you guys have completely shifted, which, you know, in this market was probably the best move.
Yes.
And you guys did it very quickly.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about that move, like how you guys went from, you know, this with Delysium with the elements of AI in there onto building Lucy, an entirely new product?
Yeah. I think there are several reasons for it. The first reason is a little bit less sexy than the second. The first one is that building like a AAA blockchain game is so capital intensive, right? It's a really, really big deal. But we've always coupled this AI aspect inside the game. So we already said right from the start, the philosophy was we are going to build a virtual society where 100 billion virtual AI beings live with 1 billion human beings. So that was already ingrained in the vision for all of our products. And we created this AI in a virtual space. So like you had like virtual NPCs, right, that were autonomously operating within Delysium, the center city. Right now we call the game the center city, and Delysium is like the overarching brand. Mm-hmm. So we realized at one point, okay, so this like AI that we put inside a box, it's so powerful because it can operate according to the rules of blockchain, because we're building a AAA blockchain game, right? Mm-hmm. So within this closed-off environment, this AI is able to operate and like engage in the economy. So it was able to transact, to talk to other AI beings, but also speak to players. And this technology has actually been used in other games as well. And then at one point we just said like, okay, so let's pick it up, take it outside of the box and put it in the real world and see what we can do. Started off as an experiment. So that's Lucy in April. Lucy in April was, okay,
an experiment?
Yeah, it was an experiment, and then that kind of blew up. We saw like 1.4 million unique wallets connected and people interacting with it like crazy, because you could come to Lucy, you could say, hey Lucy, I want to swap like 5 USDT to AGI, like our token. And then, you know, prompt would actually be executed right then and there, and would be so frictionless and easy. And you could say like, oh, like this is the wallet address of my friend, show me what NFTs he owns. Or this is like the wallet address of Vitalik, right? Show me what assets he's trading, and what
NFT he owns.
Would you say that this kind of puts Chat-gpt to shame?
Like back then it did. Yeah. So like ChatGPT is becoming pretty powerful right now, I must say. And like as an LLM, like a lot of people and we are also building different applications on top of that because it's just so, groundbreaking technology. But yeah, so then we saw this like huge like potential of AI on the blockchain. And then when we did that, other people started doing that, and they made it into some kind of like shit projects, meme coins, and they rode that like initial wave of like AI hype. But most of them, they did not prevail, and they didn't actually build something really valuable. But we said we take a different approach. Our approach is going to be long term, because like the toxicity in this space right now is everybody is just shilling you shit, right? Like shit coins, meme coins, like projects which essentially don't like encompass any real world change. So we said, okay, what can we actually do? Like, what is the future of AI? What is the future of blockchain? And we realized that probably we could first amplify Lucy's functionality and make it a really, really, really useful thing. Useful in a way of like you're removing friction between the blockchain world and the non-blockchain world. If I can come to Lucy, I don't know anything about crypto, right? I just start asking, like, what is Bitcoin? Okay, what is Ethereum? You have like explanations, right?
Is Lucy globally available to anyone?
Right now, no, not yet. She's in like closed alpha. So if you buy our node, you can get access. But she will be globally available. Probably, I don't want to make a big promise here, but probably towards the end of this year, we will release the version 2.0.
Okay.
And version 2.0 is going to take it another step further. So like version 0 was just like chatting and basic functionality. So swap, transfer, call assets. And then version 1.0, we did an overhaul of the backend. So we said, how can we make this more powerful? It's by probably creating like a plugin system and creating like an action and trigger type of workflow. So then it was a little bit more powerful. It got really good at identifying what is it that the user wants. And now we're saying we're going to take it one more step further. So, for example, you own an Atsuki.
Okay.
And you want to monitor the floor price of Atsukis. Maybe on, just one platform or on multiple platforms, but you decide to choose one platform. I want to monitor the floor price of Atsukis. And once the price, like, reaches whatever, I don't know what is the price of Atsuki, like 4 Ethereum, for example, then I want to list my Atsuki. And then you can...
What, it sort of automates everything?
Yes. So it will create a workflow for you.
That's pretty crazy.
Right. So right now, Lucy, like the current version of Lucy can also do your wallet management. So you can create like 20 wallets or 100 wallets or 1,000 wallets, and you can transfer assets in between those wallets. And we're making it.
So could Lucy, for instance, if I'm like, can you please compare the price of, I don't know, like Bitcoin or a different coin, where I just say, can you please compare it, and then like support, like show me how to do arbitrage trading.
Yes.
And she could do that.
Yes. Yeah. So
Lucy's pretty great.
Yeah. Of course, you need to understand what you're doing, right? So it's a bold move, because basically we're saying everybody that who wishes to do arbitrage deals and who wishes to do like MEV bots and trading and so on right now has an interface, and the interface is natural language, and you can just work out these workflows, and you can save them, and you can like, so okay, when there's like a price fluctuation on Ethereum like 3% up, I want to start to DCA in. Okay, one workflow, second workflow, third workflow, bum bum bum, I turn them on, and then that starts to like like real time, or like at a certain frequency, we'll start to monitor the price, and then once it does trigger the event, then the action is taken. So it's like triggers and actions and triggers and actions.
Because like I've always wanted to learn how to trade, but every time I think I know how, I lose money. So I was just like, so do you think that Lucy would be like a really great asset or AI assistant to someone who's trying to get into crypto?
Yeah.
So would you recommend, when it does come out globally, who would you recommend it to? Obviously, I'm sure everyone can use Lucy.
Yes.
Like multitude of benefits that you've listed, and I'm sure there's more, which I want to hear about. But who do you think would be the kind of user who would benefit the most?
It's a good question because it could be such a broad spectrum of users, because like Lucy will kind of like cater her interactions towards your level of understanding of what you're trying to do, right? So if you are completely new and you ask Lucy a question about blockchain, she'll pull from a database of information, or maybe through an API like DeFi Llama or whatever, and she'll like try to explain it to you. And you can also give it instructions, or give her, let's call her, give her instructions.
Of course it's a her.
Yeah, of course it's a her. So you can also give her instructions to reply to you in a certain way. Probably in the near future you'll have some customization options as well. So it's a hard question to answer because it's basically for everybody.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it, really.
But when you initially, obviously Lucy came from inside the game. Have you seen the movie? It's a sidestepping. Have you seen the movie Free Guy?
Free Guy? No, I haven't.
With Ryan Reynolds.
I can't say.
It has Ryan Reynolds in it, and it's basically like a game.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
and he was built. He's an AI. Yeah. He basically relives the same day.
Yeah. I remember this game.
And like it's other characters in the game who are real people.
Yeah.
And then he's an NPC.
Yeah.
And he builds like this personality, and like because of the AI, and the tech was just so like intelligent that he's actually developed a human personality.
Right.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I think so. Is it like he's trying to escape the game, and he wakes up every morning and has to replay it? Is that the one?
No, I don't know if he's trying to escape the game. I think he realized like how to crack the code almost.
So at one point he realizes he's an AI.
Like eventually the person who built the game actually ends up telling him, because like they go into the game and they're like, how is this person dressed as an NPC, like the creators of the game. It was really cool, to be honest. The concept of it, it's quite funny, because it's a bit dumb, but it is like the underlying, like messages of like what AI can be. I think it was really cool to see, like, that's how it could be, because they just develop more characters.
There's quite a lot of misconception about what AI could be, I think, in the world right now.
Yes, let's talk about that, because I know people are thinking Terminator.
Doomsday planners.
Me too, a little bit, depending on who has it. But let's talk about that. What do you think? What do you think in terms of the use of blockchain technology? Let's use that use case for AI for now.
Yeah.
How do you think the technology is being used today versus what it can be in the future?
Okay. So I think that, like, me and my team, we're so bullish on AI and blockchain. Like, blockchain on itself, okay, cool, right? Can solve a lot of problems. People are maybe not really using it to solve many problems, especially not at the current stage. In the future they will. But AI on its own is really, really strong already and powerful. And talking about the misconception, I think that's where the problem a little bit lies, right? And there's real problems, right? If you like create a computer program that's so powerful that it can influence its environment, like it can influence you and me, right? It has an extension into the real world. Then that should be monitored, and that should be contained, right? It's like, like, I don't have access to your personal information, but maybe such a computer can easily scrape all of your profiles, and then
like you could ask it, where does Dina live?
Yeah, for example, it will be able to maybe find that information through like going through, like whatever data that platforms collect.
Do you think that it's ironic that it will have that capability when like a massive part of like blockchain is decentralization and kind of removing any of your personal data?
Yes, and that's where the beauty of blockchain comes in, right? Because now we're saying, okay, we have this incredibly powerful software, and we need to find a way to make this software safe for humans and useful. Because safe is actually not the most important part, but probably what is more important is like make AI safe for other AI. So for example, like the philosophy goes like this: like you are an agent, I am an agent,
and we need to trade, right? But our capability of trading and like transferring information and talking to each other is like 1 million the times that we're talking right now, right? Like we probably like within 10 minutes we'll be able to like go from like how was your day to let's start a nation state, for example, right? And have the full plan for that, right? So there's where blockchain is going to be important, because first of all, our conversation has to be monitored, because like eventually when something goes wrong, we need to have a ledger, we need to have proof of what's going on, right? And then maybe like in the future, our agents will be very autonomous. So you say, I go to Yannick's agent because Yannick's agent is selling saffron, and I go buy his saffron, and this is like, you know, the price that I'm willing to pay because we are able to, you know, get this much profit if we sell it in this market or whatever. And then like my agent like cheats you for some reason, like, right? It goes against your rules and it goes against my rules. Maybe because our rules are different, because my agent is from Holland and your agent is from Dubai, right? So maybe the legislation in Dubai and the legislation in Holland is different, and maybe there are some unforeseen circumstances. So you end up paying too much, right? But like without a ledger, without somebody that is not a central organization to monitor those transactions, if you will, like there's going to be conflict, and who's then going to solve that conflict, right? So blockchain will kind of like you know, play its role there. So you cannot run an AI agent on blockchain right now. It's like ridiculous. Like if you ever hear anybody say, oh, we're building like decentralized large language model like using blockchain technology, you know, like that's not really possible right now. But you can, you know, have blockchain on the application layer. So you have like network. What we're building also is a network, and then you have a blockchain, and those can be parallel to each other. And what happens on the blockchain can be on the network can be registered on the blockchain. And then there's another thing that blockchain will probably solve. It's like there's going to be some kind of like internet crisis, I think, because right now we have all of these AI agents, and you know, like before I had to spend like 15 minutes to write a blog post, but now in 15 minutes I can basically, if I really want to, in 15 minutes I could probably like pump out like 1,000 blog posts. I could spread that on the internet. You know, I could like write like 1,000 different blog posts about like, you know, like something negative about you, like you know, like Dina goes outside at night and she like shouts at puppies, and she like, you know, like hisses at cats, and she does all these bad things because she's a bad person. Could spread that on all different types of media. That could be pretty, you know, pretty bad. It could be pretty damaging to some people. And I know in the world right now people are using it for, you know, some negative things.
Of
like
course.
If you can use it for really positive things,
I mean, there's
then you can also
no
use
secret
it.
that the world is not falling short on bad people.
Yes, exactly. So then the question remains, like, who is going to govern that all? Who's going to say that that thing that I wrote is the truth? Who's going to verify that? How are we going to verify that? Right. So probably, like, you will have some kind of like a database hosted on the blockchain, which is linked to your personal ID, like also a blockchain ID, or maybe like a contract. And within that contract, you have defined what is real and what is not real. So everything you've ever said on the internet, okay, that's verifiable through this blockchain. So probably that's like the two big use cases of blockchain technology with AI, in combination with AI. And I think that's like something that like people are pretty, you know, like kind of like denying at the moment, because there's like, oh, we need to like just let AI like whatever, make everything AI. But that's what scares people too.
Yeah, but I think it's more how quickly it grows. I mean, if it grows, it seems to obviously be something like, as an industry, it's growing faster than people can't keep up with it.
Yeah.
Like even developers are probably going to be at a point where maybe they're not able to keep up with how far it's going to go. So it's quite interesting to see. I mean, you guys are, you know, you've created Lucy, which already seems like an extremely developed product from April up to now.
Yeah.
And probably in the next year, the kind of updates and developments you guys plan to make.
Yeah.
I mean, what other industry has, you know, had that kind of like incredibly like fast kind of growth?
Yeah.
So what do you think the future would look like when it comes to AI in not only the blockchain industry, but in other industries? I mean, obviously we see it now, it's coming in gaming and other things like that. Where do you see it going?
AI will be literally everywhere. Like, because AI is solving so many different problems. It's making our like experience with the digital world, and in the future also with the real world, really frictionless. We're able to do things faster. And you know, you can now train models to do basically whatever. You know, like I've seen guys build like for the marine industry and the international cargo shipping, like those routes, right? You have those water routes where the ships goes, and then this AI is charting the right, you know, the right direction for the ship to go to save as much fuel as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And you have AI that examines pictures of the crop on land, and then notifies the farmer what is the best time to harvest, because then they will have more yield, right?
Yeah.
They'll harvest more. And then you have like you know, like in the medical industry, AI is able to do a lot of things with like pathogens and like create like vaccines, because it's able to create the worst. Probably it's able to simulate and create the worst of the worst. Like how is it called? Like COVID. Like come on, what's the word?
Like the vaccine?
Like the viruses.
Oh, the
and
viruses.
then also create the
vaccine.
vaccines for
Yeah,
those,
yeah.
right? So there's a lot of things that is like really good, and there's a lot of things that's really bad. But what I see is that like AI will integrate in every single aspect of our life, which is, you know, kind of like digital, right? So your phones, you know, like these like Alexa stuff, you know, like
Oh, yeah.
Alexa used to be so shit in a day. I don't even know anybody who actually uses that. But that kind of stuff will be super, 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 like super advanced.
You know,
and
we
helpful.
actually have an Alexa at home, and I can't stand it, because my mom just yells, "Alexa, turn the living room on." I'm like, what? And then it's just like, sorry, I don't quite understand that. And I'm like, oh my God. Like,
It's just like, Alexa, play Justin Bieber. Did you say like Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
So let me paint the picture a little bit more clearly. I believe that in business, a lot of jobs are going to be replaced.
Yeah.
I think that's a fact. You know,
People
like,
are even saying drivers.
yeah,
Cars,
of course. You know, like
taxis.
self-driving cars,
Yeah.
taxis. Like there's so many different like theories about that, which are really beautiful. But like I don't want to.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I don't want to like
No.
go off track too much. But like AI is really good at doing something mediocre right now, and something like even a little bit better than mediocre, like pretty good. You know, like when we're talking about marketing and what content creation, design, like design, to be honest, pretty good. If you have seen like the Adobe Max this keynote,
Yeah.
like oh my god, I was blown away. You know, like they're going so fast. Like every single Adobe like program has now like AI natively built into it, and now it's able to do like vectorized illustrations, and you can, you know, you click on my image and then like apply that style to this image, and it's just so so
quick.
great.
It's fast
Yeah.
too. Like for graphic designers, like, bye.
Yes, yeah, right.
At this point, anyone who knows how to
Yeah.
use the AI will be enough. So
Yeah.
people will just,
But that brings us back to, you know, like jobs are getting replaced, but also new jobs will be created, because somebody needs to control the AI. Somebody needs to control the agent. Somebody needs to know what kind of questions you should ask.
But do you think it would balance out? Because you'd only really need, like, let's say you have this, you know, this AI system, or what, you know, these AI agents who can basically do the job of 10 people, and you only need one person to manage that.
Sure, our output as a human race will increase. And the challenge is we need to focus on the right things, right? If we're like this will happen. Everybody starts to use AI to do marketing. Like it's gonna become such a messy, like very noisy environment, right? That's bound to happen. But after that phase, people will realize, okay, well, probably like you know, we don't have to make 10,000 blocks a month. You know, like one block will do. Like 2 blocks will do, right? So people will turn around and they will realize, okay, well, maybe we're overusing it. But I think there will be two kind of like environments we live in. We live in a human world, and then we live in like an AI world. So the AI world could be, and we believe that it will be highly autonomous. So like I will have so many AI agents for different purposes, like working for me to achieve certain things. You know, like maybe my entire marketing department will just be like an AI workforce. And actually I've experimented with this, and we're trying out these different types of new models that people put out, and Microsoft just put out AutoGen research paper, and like a model that allows you to have different agents, and they can work with each other. They have different roles, and then there's like a communicator, like a group leader, and then like the group leader talks to another agent, and that agent talks to you. So it's kind of like a pipeline, right? It's like how you would operate in a business. I think those types of like AI, they will become really, really, really good at what they do within the next 5 months, 6 months, maybe a year, and they will start replacing people. But on the other hand, like so many different opportunities will open up for us as humans, because it forces people to be, like focused on the things that are more important.
Yeah.
Right? Eventually.
I mean, for like startups, that will be very helpful.
Yeah, sure.
Less like overhead.
Yeah.
For instance, but for the big companies that will realize in terms of cost cutting how much they can save.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot of unemployment.
Yeah, I read an article. I don't remember which company it was, but like people are starting already to lay off, like 25% of the workforce due to the AI developments.
Yeah.
It's real. It's super real. But then again, like, okay, now like prompt engineer is a real job. Designers will be able to, like produce much more meaningful work. They will be able to focus on like telling stories, and like the art space will develop, and it will become.
I mean, I think there obviously like the plus points in it, like the positives would be a really incredible thing to see.
Yeah.
But the negatives, that's where it's like, how bad can it really get?
It can get really bad. Like probably bad people can use AI to do, like to produce viruses.
I've literally already just got someone somehow hacked my Apple Pay.
Oh, no way.
And like took like 4 or 5 grand from my bank account like days ago.
Yeah.
And I literally had to call my bank and scream like, how can you guys have not known?
Yeah.
Like this is like duplicate transactions, the same amount, and it happened 8 times, and I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah. AI could solve that problem too.
This is what I'm saying.
Like a model to monitor like this kind of transactions. Yeah.
So that's something where I'm like, these are certain things where I just think at that point, yes, it would be really helpful.
Yes.
But at the same time, just as someone used AI to, well, they'd probably use whatever they used to be able to do that.
Yeah.
At the same time, you'll have the option of someone using AI to do it better.
Yeah, sure.
So.
Yeah. And I think like I just watched the movie. I don't want to do like any spoilers here, but like The Creator, have you watched it? It's pretty new.
Who's in it?
Cinemas. I don't know any actors in it. Like I just know it's a movie about AI. I watched it a couple of days ago. It's really, really good.
The Creator.
Yeah, The
It's
Creator.
fine. Give me spoilers. I'll go watch it anyway.
No, I will not give you a spoiler, but I will give you something that happened in the movie. It's like they have like these super advanced AI beings, right? And those AI beings, they have a war with humans.
Okay.
But, these AI beings, they still have a turn off button.
Have I seen it? I might have seen the trailer. Okay,
you might have seen the trailer, right? So this is the control that we as humans have over technology. We can turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
We can turn it off. An AI, we can turn it off, right? It's code. It's wires. It's chips, right? You can turn it off. This will always be the case because in the end, it's a computer program, right? So computer programs are logical. Like you can never like create a program as a programmer and then you blame the program or you blame the computer for not running your program correctly. No, you're the programmer. You made it. You made a mistake. If it doesn't behave according to how you want it to behave, then you designed a flaw in your code. Mm-hmm. AI is code, right? So that's where this problem will be solved. It's like at the core, when we would develop AI, it has to adhere to human rules. So that's where like we were talking about human alignment. human alignment in AI is a pretty hot topic, because you have all these people talking about existential risk. Like AI is going to detonate like nukes. AI is going to like wipe us out. AI is going to develop like
The Terminator.
Yeah, the Terminator, right? Yeah. But those people forget that we can turn off. You can turn off the computer. You can turn off the light. You know, you have like EMPs, those devices like that, like when you detonate it, like the entire area will just like be dark. There's like electricity will, like the electricity grid will just be like fucked for a while. And this technology exists. So, come on, like AI is gonna take over the world? Probably not.
Fair. Well, we'll never know until we see.
Yeah.
don't want to
always
challenge.
hope.
Don't want
There's
to challenge
always
anyone.
Yeah.
Where do you hope? Where do you hope to see Lucy in the next, let's say, 12 months to 5 years?
Okay, 12 months to 5 years.
I feel like it is a big range, because I was just like, well, you said probably in 6 months we're going to be seeing a lot. So like, up, like, just forget 5 years. Just in the future, like, what kind of roadmap in your vision for Lucy? Like, what does it look like?
I think Lucy is like the first landmark for us, or the first like mission. It's like make something really, really, really useful that's blockchain agnostic, and that can help people, and that can make our lives easier. So that's the first goal. So I think we will achieve that goal like once we launch the second version of Lucy. And then beyond that, what I hope to achieve is that once we finish the entire architecture phase of this AI agent network, and we will launch a set of developer tools next year, that other people can also start to build these agents, but for different purposes. So maybe like you want to build an agent which can, you know, do something specifically for you, and you will like invest, and you will make sure that that agent is running on our network, because that network makes sure that your agents are monitored, and that it complies to what we believe will be important regarding like human alignment and so on. And then like you could actually like have that agent to become accessible to your friends, for example, or other people who want to use that. And then like one by one, we'll build these agents and agent networks, and they will start to operate like, you know, like not completely autonomously, but pretty autonomously. And it could become like a network. Probably like in the beginning it'll be pretty small, and maybe very focused on like a certain industry, perhaps, we don't know. But then in the future, like once everybody starts building AI agents, then probably that could become pretty significant. And like the combined like computing power, all of these people that bring, you know, their computing power together, and they build these AI agents, and these AI agents, they function, they work with each other, and they are probably able to achieve pretty impressive stuff. So then we could say, as a network, we could say like, okay, you know, the next thing we're going to solve is like education. You know, we want to build like whatever, like the new online university of the world, something like that. Or we want to, you know,
I mean,
like
if this, you know, kind of vision does happen, which wouldn't surprise me, I imagine that teachers won't be as relevant, because people can just teach themselves what they want to know through.
Yeah, what do you think about the metaverse from this perspective? Do you think like the metaverse is something that's gonna be like?
I mean, like in COVID, it wasn't really necessary, I think, for everyone to just at least be able to go into the metaverse and hang out with each other. Like everyone was like Zoom. I think Zoom was like probably at its peak during COVID.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of like it shows you need that. You need the connections.
Yeah.
Like I had to create my, like, I'm lucky. Like I was lucky. I was with my family in our house. Like we had a dog. Like we're fine. Like I wasn't alone, but I could not have imagined being alone. Like every day I had like a system, I had a like structure. If I would have had like the metaverse, I would have been like, yeah, we did like all of these online games. We get on Zoom and play these like play online games together. If it had been the metaverse, it probably would have been the same kind of concept, except walking around, whatever. It would have been fun. I think with education, it's probably going to be extremely successful. But again, you know, hopefully doesn't take too much away from that, the human element side of things and physical contact. But I think it will be really a big like success. I'm a bit impartial though, because like a lot of people say you can live your life in the metaverse, you can go on vacation to these places, and I'm like, well, I don't want to go to Hawaii in the metaverse. I want to go to Hawaii in person.
Real life,
Like, so there's
it's
like
not
certain like there's certain things where I'm like, it cannot substitute, but there's a lot of aspects in which I think it could be a cool substitute, but again, I feel like I'd need to like really push myself into it to make that kind of you know, conclusion for myself. But I think also it's very subjective, right? Some people love it, some people won't.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of future in AR, like AR, VR, like augmented reality, especially when AI starts to play a more prominent role in those areas. I cannot wait until the day I can just wear glasses.
See, this is what I imagine, though.
You know, like I wear my glasses and like my keyboard is projected on the table and I can just like type like that, and you know, like it's just a frictionless interaction with the digital world.
Yeah.
Instead of having like to carry this clunky ass laptop everywhere, you know, like. I think I hope we will still see.
I mean, this is how I imagine the metaverse. I don't really like. I don't imagine it as like playing in the metaverse like on a screen. I imagine like fully being
immersed.
Immersed into it with the AI, with the AR, with the VR, like the headsets, like just like real Ready Player One.
Yeah.
That's what I imagine it will be eventually. Maybe not that exact kind of you know visual representation or like how it would be, but I'd imagine it being like pretty close to that.
Yeah, I think blockchain will play a big role in there as well.
100%.
I'm still surprised though, because I was always thinking like, oh, you know, like probably everybody is caring as much as I care about like digital ownership. But you know, when I talk to like younger people, and you know, we're talking about like this digital asset, that digital asset, and in-game items, and then you ask them, it's like, do you think like blockchain will like make you feel better if you purchase an in-game item? And most of the time they don't give a fuck. They're like,
you know what it is, it's
they're
subjective.
like, I bought this item, it's mine already, you know, like it's on my character, it's on my account, it's mine.
But then when there's an upgrade on a game, that's no longer, it doesn't exist. But with blockchain it does. And this is the concept we always try to like explain when it comes to these you know, these in-game assets. Try to avoid the digital assets or whatever, because you know NFTs is such a bad word, so we try to like talk about it in any other way. Like now that's like how would you describe it now? Because like now whenever I drop the word NFT, people are like, so the way that I explain it is I'm like, it's basically like all of that money is spent in Call of Duty and on FIFA, like on like when you're buying things for your characters or you're paying so much for your team. Some people spend a lot of money, the only way for me to explain it is imagine when the next FIFA comes out. You know, your players are the same. Everything you've paid for stays, rather than you paying for a new game and then having to pay for everything all over again. It's still there. That's one idea of it.
And all the time you invest as well. Right,
yeah,
all the time you invest,
like,
you know, like playing this game.
Yeah,
like some people, they spend like thousands of hours
I think
in these games.
I think it's mainly the misconception also comes from what they expect the game quality to also be, because obviously that idea of imagine, you know, the time that you've invested, like you said, and these assets that you've paid for, and you know you've won and you've gone through all of this and you're taking it with you. I think it will always depend. I don't think they ever imagine that a game is going to really reel them in that much to want to commit to that long term, or to expect to really like stay engaged and invest more time. But so it's easier to explain it in the concept of like games that they already play. But obviously, you know, AAA games, we've yet to really see something.
Yeah, it's sad.
In Web3 to kind of prove everyone wrong. So. But we will. I mean,
I hope so.
I believe we will. I mean, I've seen a lot of games. They look like a lot of fun, like which is pretty much the most important part, right? It needs to be fun. Graphics need to be good.
I think like one of our notions in the past has also been like, oh, probably like Web3 gaming could be like a wave of mass adoption for a blockchain industry. But now I highly believe that probably AI is going to be first.
Probably.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's the fastest growing. So, but it will be cool to see.
Yes, I hope so. Yeah. I think so. We are working very hard.
Yeah.
You know, like
I'm waiting to see where Lucy goes. Like I'm dying to see what.
Nights.
Yeah. I think we'll see something quite soon. Yeah. I mean, things are starting to hopefully start turning around now. So we'll see.
Bitcoin at 36K today.